When SureTours arranged our ultimate tour of Ire, they did warn us Ireland might capture our souls. And no sooner had Etihad Airways delivered us in style than the enchantment began.
The ancient monastery Clonmacnice on the banks of the River Shannon is almost in the centre of Ireland, making it the perfect gateway for me to start my journey into the picturesque west of the country.
This is where the first Christian High King of Ireland was crowned, surviving umpteen attacks from Vikings and Anglo-Normans to become something of an open history book written in stone.
The site itself is about 1,500 years old, founded in the middle of the 6th century by a man called Ciaran, who came here with 7 friends and created a small wooden church that was to explode into a considerably larger monastic site over the next 600 or 700 years.
What is the significance of Clonmacnice?
Well, Clonmacnice itself, when it was going through its greatest phase of growth, was probably the 2nd largest monastery in Ireland, one of the largest in Western Europe, and it had a huge turnover of missionaries who went out onto the continent and founded towns, villages, universities, hospitals right across the mainland of Europe, especially during the medieval period of the 10th and 12th centuries.
Further along the Atlantic coast, you can go back even further in the island's history, when 300-million-year-old river channels cut into the base of the cliffs of Moher. But geology isn't the point, it's sheer spectacle.
The cliffs of Moher in County Clare Island are 240 meters high and range for 8 kilometers over the Atlantic Ocean. For anybody coming from the east, they're the last stop on the road to nowhere. And that perhaps adds to their loneliness and stark beauty.
The puffins and gulls, which call these sheer faces home, are minuscule against the cliffs and give the best idea of their awesome scale. Hollywood has certainly taken note, and these scenes feature dramatically in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The typically pastoral scene of countless other films, the countryside of County Galway is host to Rothbourne Farm in Ardrahan, where the Connolly family have farmed for 2 centuries now. To give city slickers an idea of life on a working farm, today Fintan Connolly shows guests how to shear sheep, feed lambs, and how to herd sheep with a meaningful gaze.
Is there a special skill involved in sheep herding?
Well, the dog actually, as a working dog, never barks at the sheep. So he uses his eye contact on the sheep. You know, it's like parents with their children. You know, if you stare them long enough, you know, they generally go the opposite direction. Well, the sheep do exactly the same.
That's child-rearing country style. The heirs of Ashford Castle were a little more indulged. Built and held by the de Burgo family for 3 centuries, it was eventually taken from them in battle.
Since 1228, Ashford Castle has been the place of residence and home to kings, queens, presidents and guests from all around the world. Today, they've maintained this tradition, and one can truly feel like a king or a queen of the castle.
In the 1600s, a French-style chateau was added, and the castle became less strategic and more of a showpiece. Owned by the famous Guinness family until the Second World War, it became a hotel, with guests including Oscar Wilde, John Wayne, and Grace Kelly. A short drive away, we came across a harbour town, only built in the 1820s, but which has become a living museum of ancient Celtic heritage.
To truly experience the pulse of Irish music, one needs only to come to the picturesque seaside village of Roundstone, home to Ireland's best-known bowrun maker, Malachy Kearns.
Pretty much everyone else here makes a living bringing home crayfish, mackerel, crab and lobster. But Malachy marches to the beat of his own drum, making musical instruments the way the original Celts made them.
Malachy, hi.
Welcome, Salomina.
I believe you're quite the musical authority in Roundstone.
Well, I've been doing this making bowrons for 32 years.
Where does the name bowron come from?
The word bowron derives from the Irish word bower, which means deaf or from deep within. So a bowron is made with a fairly thick goatskin and played in a unique way with what was originally a bone, the leg of a sheep. When it's done that way, there's a very deep haunting sound that goes straight into the gut. You feel it there straight away.
If Gibson and Les Paul guitars have been made famous by stadium-playing rock stars, then the Bowruns of Roundstone have their own Irish brand of celebrities playing them in theatres across the globe.
Productions like Riverdance introduced it to the world.
River dance is driven by percussion, and it was very exciting to get that work.
Yeah.
We made the bowrons and the stage drums for river dance. The prototypes, the original ones, are still here.
You handcraft your own bowrons. Is it difficult, and do you think I could learn?
Oh, we put you to work here straight away. We start with the skin.
It's not as fragrant as the roses at Ashford Castle, but then you're meant to play it, not smell it.
How tight does one need to pull the skin back?
It has to be quite tight, otherwise the skin would be too slack. It wouldn't work as a drum.
Malachy shares this art with drum makers in North Africa.
There you go.
He's learning fast.
What may have kept the bowrun in continual production from the time of the Celts is that, as a skin tray, it was also used to separate chaff, in baking, to serve or store food, and to carry peat. It was really the folk music revival of the 1960s that saw it return as a feature of popular music and an eye-catching piece of decor, even when it's not being played.
Is this design purely decorative, or does it have a specific significance?
Well, yeah, there's a special meaning. Celtic designs have no beginning or end. They continue to continue, which depicts maybe man's eternal spiritual journey, or anything that's meaningful and lasts, like forgiveness or love. And sometimes people like to put Celtic design on the wall to look at, to remind them what counts.
Playing styles are named after the region from which they originate. Franjo Reid uses the Kerry style.
Oh wow, it sounds great. Is there a specific technique to playing the bowron?
Well, there is. There's a traditional style that I think I use anyway. That's the rolling. I roll the stick when I'm playing. I hit it with both ends, like.
Can I try?
Certainly. That's the way you'd be holding it, so.
Like a pencil?
The technique of actually playing with the stick takes a couple of hours, and then you try and improve yourself, and then you can play to some music, and the timing is very important.
But somehow I don't think I'm doing it right. I'll leave it to the professionals.
So we left the lyrical, dramatic and historic West Country. And as we'd been warned, we had indeed been incurably infected with the spirit of Ireland. Sure Travel puts you in the picture this week. Make memories that last a lifetime with holiday packages from Sure Travel.